All right. Let's check further. Formulate the problem and plan the study. It doesn't mean I want to go through all the details, but I try to point out some important issues. Well, formulate the problem. All right. So if you want to study the problem, this problem actually studied by the manager or the advisor, right? Of course, sometimes you have the degree of freedom to modify further. Well, if you have the degree of freedom to modify further, sure, you can modify by yourself. But I want to point out, actually the problem is studied by the manager. If you have any questions, actually you need to check with the manager. Well, of course, the manager will hold the kickoff meeting. And kickoff meeting means this. All right, kickoff. So, here, to start kickoff meeting. Well, we will have one or more kickoff meetings. Well, to start and so that you have the initial meeting, we call kickoff meetings. Well, you want to have the meeting to understand the study for the problem. Well, to have the overall objectives and specific questions, performance measures, scope of the model. Well, scope. It doesn't mean we want to study the original system. Sometimes we just want to have the simulation study to focus some simplified model. So you will have the scope of the model. Well, if you have the system you want to study, then you will know how to have the configurations. Well, after that, we define the system. So you need to have the program. And of course, you need to know what kind of software you want to apply. All right, for example, you want to use Python, or maybe you want to have some package. Finally, it's really important to study. Of course, you will have the schedule, and the schedule will define the duration, right? Duration. Therefore, it's really important. You need to have the duration and follow the schedule. The schedule initially defined by the manager. Perhaps the manager doesn't have a period of time. Then you need to finish the possible preparation and prepare the program and get the initial result. Or finally, when you will have the final results. Okay, so this is step one. Again, I want to emphasize defined by the manager. If you have any question, of course, you need to make sure with the manager. Of course, all the details actually discuss with your team member or the manager. Well, this is step one. And step two, if you want to start from scratch, that says start from the beginning. You don't have any reference model. Then you need to collect data, and so that you can define model for your study. All right, so of course we want to know system layout, and we will have the way to know how to have the operation. And if you have this, and then you will have the data from the real system, actually from real system, but we need to pass on the collected data to define the model. Well, so if we have the collected data, then you will specify the model. Once you know how to specify the model, of course, you will have the parameters and the probability distribution, because we think the system will be the probabilistic system. So of course, we will have the input probability distribution. For example, previously we have a system, MM1. All right. Well, if we have the specified model with parameters and input distributions, then we can construct the conceptual model. All right, so we can construct the conceptual model. If we have the model, then you will collect performance for the original system. All right. Well, you should understand, maybe you can have the simple experiment to get the original system performance, because you want to make sure compared to the model you have, you can have the performance later. And right now you want to have the performance for the original system, and so that you will understand its value or not. All right. Well, we just want to know, we want to collect, and so that we will have the model. And with the model, of course, you need to have the initial details, or maybe you need to have the further details. Again, you should understand, if you have any further question, interact with the manager. All right, I just want to emphasize for the steps, sometimes you have the problem or question, you can refer to the opinions of your manager. Well, that's it. This is it should be the second step. Well, if you want to join Present Live, here we have the hyperlink ppt.ms. All right, so you can key in, and so that you can join Present Live for sure. Well, next one we need to check model valid or not. Up to now, it's a conceptual model, so of course we check conceptual model valid or not. Well, to make sure this, actually you can have the initial simulation, or maybe you can have some intuitions. All right. Well, so how to do? Perhaps you have many ways to have the intuition to feel. Up to now, this one okay or not? Or from the your viewpoint to check the conceptual model okay or not. All right, because we will have the second stage to check valid or not, because you will have the program model valid or not later. And this time you can have the initial way to check conceptual model valid or not. Well, after that, of course, we have the defined model. Then you can construct the program and verify. Of course, you will have the program. And verify says define, and then you check everything's okay or not. Well, if we don't have any bugs, then you can have the pilot runs. Pilot here. actually, we have these. Try to have the test runs. All right, so we will have pilot runs. And slowly, we will check the model valid or not. Well, pilot runs for validation purpose. Well, actually, I should remind you of the subtitles just for your reference. Sometimes I'm not so sure why they don't have the correct subtitles. Well, we have the program, so we can check program model value or not now. How to do? We can compare with the existing model, or maybe we can compare to the performance for the original system if you have. Well, so we will compare the results, the output from the program model, and so that you can compare with the existing model. Well, you will check the results, and finally you will think okay or not. Of course, if you can have the sensitivity analysis, but not covered by the scope of this semester. In fact, you can find it maybe in chapter 9. All right, this chapter we won't cover, so possibly you can refer to this chapter, and possibly you can have the sensitivity analysis. Well, you can compare your results of a pilot run with the result of existing model or the original system. Therefore, you can have a conclusion, program model valid or not.